Welcome to Adunity Learning Hub. This is your complete Grade 12 Life Sciences study guide on human reproduction and contraception. In this video, we'll walk through the male and female reproductive systems, fertilization, pregnancy, birth, and every method of contraception you need to know for CAPS. Let's get started. Here's what we're covering today: the male reproductive system and how sperm are made, the female reproductive system, including oogenesis and the menstrual cycle, fertilization, where sperm and egg become one, pregnancy, from implantation to a fully developed fetus, birth, and the hormones that control labor, and finally, contraception, the natural, barrier, hormonal, and permanent methods used to prevent pregnancy. By the end, you'll be able to explain each of these confidently in an exam. Let's start with the male reproductive system. The testes produce sperm cells and the hormone testosterone. They sit inside the scrotum, a sac that keeps them slightly cooler than the rest of the body, which is essential for healthy sperm production. Once sperm are made, they move to the epididymis, where they mature and are stored. From there, the vas deferens carries mature sperm upward. Along the way, the seminal vesicles, the prostate gland, and the bulbourethral glands each add fluid, and together these form semen. Finally, semen travels through the urethra and out through the penis during ejaculation. Now let's look at how sperm are actually formed, a process called spermatogenesis, which happens inside the seminiferous tubules. It starts with a diploid spermatogonium, which divides by mitosis. This becomes a primary spermatocyte, which undergoes meiosis I to form two secondary spermatocytes. These then undergo meiosis II, producing 4 haploid spermatids, which mature into spermatozoa, or sperm cells, complete with a tail for movement. This whole process is controlled by hormones. The hypothalamus releases GnRH, which signals the anterior pituitary to release FSH and LH. FSH stimulates the Sertoli cells to support spermatogenesis, while LH stimulates the interstitial, or Leydig cells to produce testosterone. Testosterone then maintains sperm production. Now to the female reproductive system. The ovaries produce ova, or egg cells, and secrete the hormones estrogen and progesterone. Each month, an egg is released and swept up by the finger-like fimbriae of the fallopian tube, where cilia move it toward the uterus. This is also the usual site of fertilization. The uterus is a muscular organ lined by the endometrium, which thickens to prepare for a possible pregnancy. Below it, the cervix is a narrow ring of muscle that produces mucus and dilates widely during birth. Finally, the vagina is the muscular canal that receives the penis during intercourse and forms the birth canal. Let's look at how egg cells develop, a process called oogenesis. It begins before birth, with a diploid oogonium developing into a primary oocyte, which starts meiosis I, but then pauses until puberty. Each month, meiosis I completes, forming a secondary oocyte and a first polar body. At ovulation, the secondary oocyte is released, but it stays paused in meiosis II until a sperm actually fertilizes it. Only then is meiosis II completed, forming the ovum. This is controlled by the same hypothalamus and pituitary hormones as in males. GnRH triggers FSH and LH release. FSH stimulates a follicle to develop and secrete estrogen. A surge in LH then triggers ovulation and forms the corpus luteum, which secretes progesterone to maintain the endometrium. Let's put this all together in the menstrual cycle, which lasts about 28 days. During menstruation, on days 1 to 5, the endometrium is shed because progesterone has dropped. At the same time, the follicular phase begins, running from day 1 to 13, where FSH stimulates a follicle to grow and secrete estrogen, which rebuilds the endometrium. Around day 14, a surge in LH triggers ovulation, releasing the secondary oocyte. Then, from day 15 to 28, we're in the luteal phase. The ruptured follicle becomes the corpus luteum, secreting progesterone to maintain the endometrium. If fertilization occurs, the embryo releases HCG to keep the corpus luteum active. If not, progesterone falls, and the cycle begins again. Fertilization usually happens in the fallopian tube within about 24 hours of ovulation. First, sperm undergo capacitation as they travel through the female tract, losing a protective coating so they can fertilize the egg. Next comes the acrosome reaction, where enzymes released from the sperm's acrosome digest a path through the layers surrounding the oocyte. The first sperm to arrive fuses with the oocyte's membrane, and its nucleus enters the cytoplasm. This triggers the cortical reaction, which instantly hardens the zona pellucida to block any other sperm from entering. This is what prevents polyspermy. Pause. The oocyte then completes meiosis II, and the sperm and egg nuclei fuse, restoring the full diploid number. A genetically unique zygote is formed. As the zygote travels toward the uterus, it divides repeatedly, forming first a morula and then a fluid-filled blastocyst. About 6 to 9 days after fertilization, this blastocyst implants itself into the thickened endometrium. From here, the placenta develops, a temporary organ connecting mother and baby through the umbilical cord. It performs several vital functions. It allows gas exchange, passing oxygen to the fetus and removing carbon dioxide. It transfers nutrients, like glucose and amino acids. It removes waste products, like urea. It produces hormones, including HCG, estrogen, and progesterone. And it acts as a selective barrier, filtering out many harmful pathogens, while still allowing protective antibodies through. Human pregnancy lasts around 40 weeks, divided into 3 trimesters. Pause. In the first trimester, weeks 1 to 12, all major organs begin forming. The heartbeat starts around week 6, and limbs begin to appear. This is the most critical period, with the highest risk from toxins or harmful substances. Pause. In the second trimester, weeks 13 to 27, the fetus grows rapidly. The mother starts to feel movement, and features like hair and eyebrows develop. Pause. In the third trimester, weeks 28 to 40, the fetus gains weight quickly, the lungs mature, and it usually turns into a head-down position, ready for birth at full term. Near full term, hormone levels shift, and the uterus becomes far more sensitive to oxytocin, triggering the start of labor. Pause. This works through a positive feedback loop. The baby's head presses on and stretches the cervix. This sends nerve impulses to the hypothalamus, which signals the posterior pituitary to release oxytocin. Oxytocin then causes stronger uterine contractions, which stretch the cervix even further, releasing even more oxytocin. Pause. Unlike most processes in the body, which rely on negative feedback to stay stable, labor uses positive feedback, so each contraction builds on the last until the baby is born and the stretching finally stops. Labor happens in 3 stages. Pause. The first is the dilation stage, the longest stage, where contractions gradually widen the cervix to about 10 centimeters, and the amniotic sac usually ruptures. Pause. The second is the expulsion stage, where contractions and the mother's pushing move the baby through the birth canal, and the baby is born. Pause. The third is the placental stage, where continued mild contractions expel the placenta and membranes, while the uterus keeps contracting to limit bleeding. Now let's turn to contraception, any method used to deliberately prevent pregnancy. Pause. These methods generally fall into 4 categories. Natural methods rely on avoiding intercourse during fertile periods, with no devices involved. Barrier methods physically block sperm from reaching the egg. Hormonal methods use synthetic hormones to prevent ovulation. And permanent methods are surgical procedures that prevent fertilization for good. Pause. Let's look at each of these in detail. First, natural methods. Abstinence is the complete avoidance of intercourse, and the only method that's 100% effective. The rhythm method involves avoiding intercourse around the days of ovulation. And withdrawal, removing the penis before ejaculation, is unreliable, since pre-ejaculate can still contain sperm. Next, barrier methods. The male condom is worn over the penis and physically stops sperm from reaching the egg, while also reducing the risk of sexually transmitted infections. The female condom lines the vaginal walls to do the same job. And the diaphragm, or cervical cap, covers the cervix, usually combined with spermicide. Hormonal methods use synthetic estrogen and progesterone, mainly to stop ovulation and thicken cervical mucus. Pause. The contraceptive pill is taken daily and can be a combined pill or a progesterone-only mini pill. The injection, taken roughly every 3 months, suppresses ovulation for an extended period. The implant is a small rod placed under the skin that releases progesterone for several years, and the patch releases hormones through the skin on a weekly basis. Let's finish with intrauterine devices and permanent methods. Pause. The copper IUD is a small device placed in the uterus, where copper ions are toxic to sperm, lasting several years. The hormonal IUD works similarly, but releases progesterone directly into the uterus. Pause. For permanent contraception, tubal ligation in females involves cutting or sealing the fallopian tubes, while a vasectomy in males involves cutting and sealing the vas deferens. Pause. It's important to remember that both procedures are highly effective but permanent, and neither protects against sexually transmitted infections. Only barrier methods like condoms offer that protection. Let's do a quick recap. Pause. For the male system, remember the testes, epididymis, and vas deferens, along with FSH's role in spermatogenesis and LH's role in testosterone production. For the female system, remember the ovaries, fallopian tubes, and uterus, oogenesis, and the 28-day menstrual cycle. For fertilization and pregnancy, remember that fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube, the cortical reaction blocks polyspermy, and the placenta handles gas exchange, nutrients, and hormones. Pause. And for birth and contraception, remember that oxytocin drives labor through positive feedback. There are 3 stages of labor, and contraception includes natural, barrier, hormonal, and permanent methods. Well done for making it through this topic. Warmly, you've now covered the male and female reproductive systems, fertilization, pregnancy, birth, and contraception. Everything the CAPS curriculum requires for this section. Pause. The best next step is to try some past paper questions on this topic to test what you remember.